With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. It'll be very hot and very humid along the lakeshore and throughout all of the lower peninsula in Michigan this week, with high temperatures predicted to reach up to 100 degrees and overnight lows only in the mid-70s. The heat index will be nearly 100 degrees today and will be over 105 degrees tomorrow through Thursday. The National Weather Service has issued an extreme heat warning for the state. Memorial services have been and will be held for two grieving families who had lost loved ones because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time in separate incidents over a 3-hour span 10 days ago. Last Friday, a life celebration service was held for Jessica Schmock, a 39-year-old Genesee woman who died when the sedan she was driving was struck by an eastbound vehicle on westbound I-196 near Lane Avenue in Grand Rapids. Tomorrow, there will be a funeral for 53-year-old Tammy Morris Robinson, along with her 50-year-old husband, Robert. The Muskegon couple who were killed when their SUV was slammed by another SUV going westbound and eastbound I-96 near 16th Avenue in Marne. Ottawa County Sheriff Eric DeBoer is searching for answers as much as the grieving families are.
Obviously, as soon as we see it, we stop it. But how can you be everywhere all the time, or how do we get around that? And there's no real good answer to it. And obviously, the stakes are really high because of the speeds and the physics of it all. So, yeah, I mean, there's no good answer. There's really no good answer. And as someone that's my job is to find problems and fix problems or plan to fix problems, it's not a good feeling.
The two crashes also killed both of the apparent at-fault drivers, and while the Marne collision is believed to be stemming from a drunken driver, an official determination of the Grand Rapids incident has yet to be disclosed. State police are investigating the discovery of a dead baby in a porta potty at the Electric Forest Festival in Rothbury yesterday morning. The baby was born in the cubicle, and the placenta and umbilical cord were still present, but police don't know if it was stillborn or if it had drowned. It was found by an employee of the restroom vending company, and the mother has yet to be identified. The sold-out music festival wrapped up 4 days yesterday. A 20-year-old man is charged with open murder and felony firearm in the June 1st shooting death in Grand Rapids of Terry Corona Tenorio. Jonel Arroyo Moran was arraigned on Friday after being arrested. Corona Tenorio was shot outside a home on Francis Avenue near Grigg Street around 12:30 a.m. on the 1st. Arroyo Moran is due back in court on July 7th. Meanwhile, the 6th annual Resource and Resilience Rally brought people opposed to gun violence to Davis Street Park in Kalamazoo on Saturday.
They included the family of Lonnie Horton, who was shot and killed at the park in April. Hope Through Navigation founder Gwendolyn Hooker says a rally is held every year to let people know about the resources that are available and to remind them that they as well are available to help. Horton's mother, Jarell Gomez, says gun violence affects families and not in a positive way at all. Hooker says Kalamazoo had an unprecedented level of gun violence in 2020 and 2021 and says the community is seeing a resurgence as there's been an increase in access to guns. I'm Michael Arney.
Another fresh leaf has been added to the laurels of the City of Holland. Last week, Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada named the Tulip City as a 2024 Triple Crown winner. This is for receiving the organization's Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, the popular Annual Financial Reporting Award, and the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, all of which is for a single fiscal year. Holland is one of 441 municipalities that earned this honor from among the over 35,000 members and communities served by the GOFA in North America, which is holding its 120th Avenue Conference this week in Chicago. Now, this accolade comes on the heels of the city receiving gold status in the Michigan Green Communities Program for exemplary work in various categories, such as planning, energy efficiency, renewable energy, recycling, transportation, and community engagement. It stems from taking what Mayor Nathan Bach says is a pragmatic approach to addressing environmental concerns.
We don't just set arbitrary goals and say, let's see if we can hit those, but we actually take a hard look at the data of what it is that we can do, what the lowest hanging fruit is, and then how we can make the right thing to do, the easy thing to do for the members of the public who are the ones who are actually going to be having to be doing these things.
The Michigan Green Communities Challenge is an annual program supported by a number of state, county, and local government agencies. Texas Township in Kalamazoo County has approved a 12-month moratorium on data centers. Supervisor Joanne O'Rourke says the Planning Commission in that community has the task of a rigorous study framework to evaluate data center land use impacts on farmland preservation, rural zoning compatibility, infrastructure capacity, and environmental factors. Those include noise, heat discharge, and light pollution, while the infrastructure capacity will study water supply and the electric grid. New research shows many adults are improving in their health as they age. A study done by Yale University shows close to half of adults aged 65 and older had improvements in cognitive function, physical function, or both as they got older. Researchers looked at 11,000 participants in the Health and Retirement Study, a federally funded survey of older Americans. And the lead author of the study says many people equate aging with an inevitable and continuous loss of physical and cognitive abilities. But the study found that improvement in later life is not rare, but it's common. This doesn't come as a surprise to Mark DeWitt, Chief Advancement Officer with the Holland-based Evergreen Commons, who believes that this feels generational.
It feels that the generations that are passing are saying there are more opportunities to engage in better lifestyles. We have good food that's right in our corridor. We're in the agricultural center of Michigan. We also have this fitness as medicine that we subscribe to at Evergreen Commons, where you come to Evergreen and you can find something for everyone based on your ability.
DeWitt cites a study done by the Ottawa County Department of Public Health, which concluded that in a 10-year period from 2014 to 2024, life expectancy rose by a year and a half, despite the impact of the 2020 coronavirus outbreak. The average price drivers are paying for a gallon of gas in Michigan is up nearly 8 cents in the last week. AAA Michigan says the price as of dawn this morning was up to $4.08, which is 39 cents less than last month, but 84 cents more than last year. Along the lakeshore, fuel is running at $4.02 in Ottawa County and $4.10 in Allegan County. A 15-gallon tank of gas on average costs $62 in Michigan. President Donald Trump is deeply unpopular in Michigan, according to a new Epic MRA poll that finds his approval rating is at a record low of 33%, the lowest mark Mr. Trump has ever hit in his 2 terms in the Oval Office. His disapproval rating is a high at 63%. Just 13% of people say they believe the economy has improved nationally. 61% say it's gotten worse. On gas prices, 63% disagree with Mr. Trump's statement that high gas prices are a small price to pay for the conflict against Iran. 58% believes he has made energy prices more expensive. A couple of rulings last week as the Supreme Court finishes up its current session with written rulings. One has an impact in a southern Michigan community. Last Thursday, the High Court cleared the way for the Trump administration to cut off temporary legal protections for thousands of Haitians and Syrians. Justices ruled 6-3 that courts cannot review decisions to end temporary protected status. This ruling directly involves Haitian and Syrian immigrants, with many of those from the Caribbean island currently residing and working in the Coldwater area. If immigrants lose their protected status, they will have to find another legal status, leave the country, or risk deportation. Republican Congressman Tim Walberg of Tipton, whose district includes the Coldwater area, admits that it's an apparent no-win situation.
For the heart, you'd want to say, no, let's let them stay longer. For the brain and for the future of our Constitution and our law system, you want us to follow the law, and that's what we're stuck with right now.
Over 8,000 temporary protected status holders are in Michigan as of March of 2025. Meanwhile, a U.S. Supreme Court decision has vindicated Jan Musin somewhat. Last Thursday, the High Court, in a 7-2 ruling, restricted Americans' ability to sue pesticide makers over alleged health harms stemming from their products. This reined in thousands of lawsuits pursued in state courts that accused Bayer, the parent company of Monsanto, of failing to warn users that the active ingredient in its Roundup weed killer causes cancer. The High Court agreed with Bayer that a federal law governing pesticides precludes failure to warn claims brought under state law from moving forward in court. This decision comes 11 years after Musin, who was the master gardener at Zeeland-based DeBrine Seed, called all of this litigation political in nature.
People just don't like Monsanto, so they'll try to do anything. But the main ingredient in Roundup is glyphosate, and it's a mined product. You can actually drink it. That's not going to hurt you. It inhibits a protein only found in plants. The inert ingredients that act as a carrier might give you pretty much of a stomach ache. It's not, necessarily good for you, but it's got the lowest warning a pesticide can get.
Musin passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 69. Christian Walker's 3-run homer capped a 4-run Houston 10th inning off of Kenley Jansen as the visiting Astros put away A.J. Hinch's Tigers at Comerica Park yesterday, 7-5.
Feeling as disappointment because, we had some winnable games on this homestand, but specifically the one today, frustration doesn't really do it justice.
Detroit faces the New York Yankees in the Bronx tonight with coverage from Dan Dickerson at 6:40 p.m. on WHTC Holland's Cool FM. Saya Suzuki's 2-run single capped a 3-run 10th inning off of Joel Krunel as Craig Counsell's Cubs held off the Brewers in Milwaukee yesterday 4-3.
It obviously didn't look good. I mean, there's 2 outs and nothing happening. We got some good at bats. Krunel started struggling with the strike zone. Then we took advantage of it.
Chicago hosts the San Diego Padres at Wrigley Field this evening. Carter Jensen's RBI double in the 4th inning snapped a 4-4 tie, giving Matt Quartero's visiting Kansas City Royals a victory over the White Sox at Wrigley Field yesterday, 5-4.
Huge day for the bullpen. I think it was 3 runners on base in 5 innings. A double play turned in there, 1 hit in 5 innings. An opportunistic offense early on. Their bullpen did a good job too. So I'm proud of the way these guys competed.
Chicago battles the Orioles in Baltimore tonight. Carter Graham's 2-run double in the 2nd inning broke a 2-2 tie. And the Dayton Dragons went on to defeat the visiting Whitecaps yesterday 10-4. West Michigan awaits the arrival of the Lake County Captains to LMCU Ballpark in Comstock Park tomorrow evening. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com.